Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I'm working in my memory planner for the week of July 11th through the 17th. I have a few pictures here, and then my goal is to use only scrap paper. So this is my scrap paper left over from Hip Kit Club kits. It covers a whole wide variety of seasons and like all the things. So I want to, oh, this is really cute. I want to use these scraps primarily as what I'm going to use to document in my memory planner. So I will link things down below. Obviously, I'm not sure if all of these papers are available at Hip Kit Club, but I will link the Hip Kit Club down below. Not an affiliate link, but I do like them very much. So anyway, I will put you guys on fast forward. Let's go. All right, I'm going to get started by kind of going through the scraps, seeing what might work. When I'm using primarily scraps, I try to separate a few pieces, not necessarily because I'm going to use them all, but just some that I think will go together as I kind of search through. We're going to go for some bright primary colors, and then I want a more neutral backing, like a matte type situation, and I think I'm going to want all of them on the same. So I'm trying to see what I have that might be enough. This gray with all of the talking bubbles isn't really my style, but if I use it as a matte, really you're just going to see the color and not so much the pattern. And so that's a really good way to use some of the papers that might not be your style. Maybe they're kind of out of your comfort zone, but you can still get hints of those colors without really embracing what is on the paper by creating a matte out of them. I'm cutting apart all the pictures, kind of placing them around the page close to the day they were on, and then I'm going to use these cards. Now, I used to struggle with cards like this just because I don't do pocket scrapbooking, and I thought that these were primarily for that, and that's true. These are definitely, they lend themselves to pocket scrapbooking, but you can use them in a lot of other ways, and I'm going to do just that. I'm going to use all of these cards on this page. It's going to create some great journaling spots for me to write what's going on in the pictures, to tell the story. It does make an impact on the spread with some simple colors, kind of a rainbow feel, but it's not too much, if you know what I mean. I always use full color photos. I know a lot of people scrapbook in black and white or kind of change colors of their photos. I like for this particular memory album to use the full color just because I really want to capture what the event actually was, what the colors were, what the brightness was, all of that. And so I like to print out the actual photos. In a few other memory keeping projects that I have, there are plenty of times that I do print in black and white, mostly because I want to be able to tell the story and I want to be able to tell it in my own way without the color dominating. So I think that that is just a choice you have to make when you're printing your photos, to decide how to print them and what colors to use. So once I get all of the photos placed on the page, then I will decide to go ahead and mat them. I want them all on a simple mat and all in the same one in this case, just so that it brings some uniformity to the page. And you can see how easily that pattern just disappears. You're just going to see the gray matting. You're not going to see all of the words or the speech bubbles or anything like that. And so for me, it works well. This is a scrap that I probably would not have used otherwise. It just doesn't fit my typical style, but now I'm able to use it just for the colors that are included. So it's a good idea to kind of look at paper differently, see how you can layer it in order to get as much as you can, especially when you get these subscription kits like Hip Kit Club or Felicity Jane or any of the other kits that you might like some of the supplies, not all of the supplies. And so you don't want to be wasteful. You want to try to use what you can, and this allows me to do that. So I would love to hear it down below. What is your favorite way to use scraps? Maybe scraps just from papers that you love, or maybe those papers that you don't love, but you don't want to be wasteful. Do you just de-stash them? Do you give them away? Do you try to use them in projects? What do you do with those papers or those supplies or even those stickers, anything that you kind of get in bulk and you don't like all of it? I'd love to hear from you. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and put everything down on the page, switching out my tape runner as we speak because it goes fast when I do memory planning. I definitely go through those tape runners like crazy. So I'm kind of putting all of these cards in the corners to kind of set the tone, and I have a ton of pictures from that particular Sunday because we did get to go to a Braves game at Nats Park and had a fabulous time as a family. So I had a ton of pictures from that. We'll get everything organized. We're still in the midst of summer, doing all of the summer things like you do as a family, and we had lots of fun. We're doing our own little science experiment, studying all of the different ice cream stores and comparing them in the city, because why not? Why not do a little ice cream study during the summer? We had a lost tooth that week, which was awesome. Fun with neighbors, fun being lazy on slow summer mornings, just lots of good times with my kiddos. And it's nice to document these. I will not lie, this summer has been somewhat of a struggle as we try to figure out how to balance me working from home and having a lot of responsibilities, but also doing summer fun activities, because I don't want my kids to have to sit at home all summer while I'm working. And so it's been a little bit of a struggle, but I like to be able to highlight some of these good times because there are lots of good times. We have managed to have a lot of fun, and I think that they will look back fondly on these summer memories for sure. All right, so now I'm looking through some ephemera stash. I tend to keep my Hip Kit Club ephemera separate. So when it's a Hip Kit Club original, meaning their artist designed these, then they kind of have the same feel, I guess. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. So I keep them in a little bin, as you see right here, that's in my desk, so I'm able to easily pull it out, and I'm just picking some fun, bright pieces that will really stand out and add a little character to the spread. It's a pretty simple spread, and that's okay. It's okay to do something really simple. It's also okay to do something complicated. You do what works for you in that time period, and there's definitely times where I can add a ton of extra love and care to these memory planner spreads, and then there's times where they're a little bit simpler like this. It doesn't mean I didn't appreciate that week as much. It just means that's what is working with my time period. So, you know, you do what works for you, what works for your style, and you're going to be happy with the end results. So on each of these cards, there's a place to add, it has date and place. And so I decided to pull out a roller date stamp and stamp, which turned out to be a mistake because my impatient self stamped. I did not use my heat tool to make sure the ink was dry. And so when I went to journal, I smeared some of the stamping, and you're gonna see that in the final result. And I give you a big thumbs down because I was super upset that that happened. But it's okay. It's still memories documented. It happens. It happens to all of us. So just wanted to leave that in there to show you that, you know, we all make mistakes. I end up smearing ink all over my hand and on my spread, and that's okay. I just work around it. All right, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. I've linked supplies down below so you can check out those if you are interested. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my Patreon members. Thank you all so much for your support. It means the world to me, and you guys are all so awesome. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.